How's it going, guys? You're watching Dirt Bike Channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing these Steg Pegs. Stick around. So what are Steg Pegs? Steg Pegs I think are a lot more popular in Australia, and I've got a lot of Australian viewers, and a lot of those guys have been kind of requesting me over the last couple of years to put some Steg Pegs on my bike and to try them out. So what's the idea with the Steg Peg? The Steg Peg is basically something that you put on your bike to help you hold on to the bike more with your legs. As you can see, the boot, basically your boot comes up here and it will come in contact. I'll roll in a couple other shots so you can see this a little better, but it brings your boot in contact with these rubber pucks that you have on your bike. It fits kind of behind your foot peg here, and as you're up on your toes, you can kind of lean back on that. It helps you to grip the bike and give you something to grip. And what the idea is then you don't have to be holding on quite so tight with your hands, especially on some of those hill climbs, those long hill climbs.
Using the Steg Pegs today on the bike, they should help on this climb.
So you can lean back a little bit on the weight on your boots here and be able to pinch the bike and have something to grip. And that sounds like a pretty good idea. And in a lot of times I think it is a good idea. Some of the time it's a little bit of a detriment too. That's when you really need to be loose and flowing and let the bike kind of move forward and backwards with you on some of the rocky downhills that I end up doing. And that's where I found that this wasn't as amazing as I hoped, because I found that I would get caught if I was doing a log crossing or doing some of these things where I was kind of shifting my feet around and turning. I found that I would kind of get caught, like my boot here would catch the Steg Peg and I would feel like I'm a little bit caught, especially if I was whipping my leg, if I was trying to whip my leg out or back or do something, or get over a log or get over some obstacle. There was a couple of times that I felt like I was kind of getting snagged on the bike by the Steg Peg. See, what would happen sometimes is I would be in front of it and then I would need to kind of get behind it, and I'd have to, sometimes like the boot would hook here. See how my boot has this? And sometimes my boot would come and kind of get hooked on this a little bit, and I would feel like I'm hooked right there, and then it would pop off and come around it as I would be going down things. And I didn't care for that a ton, so that was kind of my big issue. You can see how this is designed though. It's supposed to give you something here to be able to lean back on and grip the bike a little bit better, and it does that. I just didn't get a ton of gains from going up hills when I had this, and then it was kind of negated by having to get around it and get that thing in front when I'm doing those steep descents like that. So a little bit of a mixed bag for me. You can move them forward and backwards, and I tried them all the way back, I tried them in the middle, I tried them forward. When I had them all the way back, I couldn't even honestly tell that they were there. I was riding with a buddy, Tyler, and I rode the bike for about, I don't know, an hour, and then he rode the bike for maybe a half hour, and he's like, dude, I didn't even notice that they were on. He's like, what are you supposed to do? And I kind of explained it. He's like, oh yeah. I guess that worked, but he didn't even notice that they were there. And I guess that's kind of one of my things, was I didn't really even notice so much that they were there. It didn't give me a lot of relief in my hands, maybe just a little bit of relief. But it was kind of counterbalanced by when I needed to be loose on the bike and go downhill and not get caught. Because when you're going up, it's one thing to be able to kind of lean back on the bike. When you're going down, you need to kind of shift your leg out and let that thing travel forward. So, because when you're going down, you're going to be leaning back more like this as the bike is going down like that. And so now you kind of have to think about bringing your leg out so that can slip around you, so that you can shift your weight all the way back like that. And I don't know, I wasn't in love with that. You can also, guys will run multiple pucks on these, so they've got that sticking out even further to kind of help, cheat and get even more grip. to me, that would exacerbate the problem that I had of being able to go onto a quick downhill. Like if you've got a real quick drop where you need to drop 4 or 5 feet, sometimes it can be hard. You kind of get hooked on it and get snagged on it. So that was kind of a mixed bag for me. One of the things that I didn't like for sure though is on this particular bike, this is a KTM, and not all of your bikes will have this problem, but the Airbox is right under here. So this is where my air filter is, and in order to get this, to clean my air filter, I have to take the subframe bolt out right here, and then I've got to loosen these 2 bolts up here and swing the whole Steg peg around in order just to get my air filter out. And I don't like doing that. It would be very easy, with the way that this kind of binds up and stuff, it would be very easy for you to strip out your subframe bolt down here, strip that out of your subframe, and I don't like that. So I've used the Steg peg now for about 10 hours on the bike. So it wasn't like I've just done it one time. I've had it for, this bike has been on what, 3 or 4 different rides, and according to my hour meter, I was just looking at it before, it's like 9.5 hours of actual engine time that I used them. They're about 150 bucks here in the US, $150 US, and I don't think I got $150 worth of value out of it, especially because I have to take this off every time I'm going to change my air filter. Now, if you've got a different bike like a Yamaha or a Honda or something where you don't have the air filter right here, then it's a better thing. It would be a better option in my mind. I still though, I got some gains out of the hill climbs. It was, but a lot of that was negated by needing to drop down and get that boot out and around to go downhill. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag for me. For 150 bucks, I think it's a little overpriced for what you're getting. And then, yeah, it maybe helps you a little bit on the uphills. I didn't notice a ton, but then with how it detriments me on the downhills and in the technical stuff, for me, I'm probably not gonna keep them on my bike. And that's a real world honest review, guys. I do, when you go to dirtbikechannel.com/parts and you use my parts link to when you're buying your parts, I get a little bit of a referral bonus. I use that money and I turn around and I put parts on my bikes and different things and gear, and I review that gear. And I have to be honest so that you guys can trust what I'm saying. Some of the things that I put on the bike, I like them. This one, it's kind of like, it's a mixed bag. I probably am not going to keep that on there for the reasons that I've already alluded to. So if you like what we're doing, please remember to like the channel, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel. I've also got these t-shirts. I've got the Sherco 300 SER over there. If you buy a t-shirt on my website, dirtbikechannel.com/win-my-dirt-bike for rules, you can win that 2017 Sherco 300 SER. It's an awesome bike. You have to do it between July 1st and August 31st. You buy a shirt. That's the only time the shirts are going to be available. And for the price of a t-shirt, you could win that bike. So it's a pretty stinking cool promotion. Anyway, if you're watching this after the promotion, sorry, maybe I'll do some additional promotions where we give a dirt bike away. I don't know. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and appreciate you tuning in.